You know what would have helped this movie? Including a fight scene, or 5, or 500 million. The Princess is a Hulu original film co-promoted with 20th Century Fox, is an original film production, and I know that Hollywood tends to stretch the truth with a lot of their movies, but they just flat out fucking lie with the original film production, but nevertheless, that's the actual name of the studio. This is directed by Lee Van Kiet, who did The Requiem. I still need to watch that. It's a shark movie with Alicia Silverstone. Sign me the fuck up. Why not? They haven't done the shark movie genre to fucking death at all. And it's also written by Ben Lustig. Man, it almost sounds like he should be working for the Kremlin. Don't know why I decided to say that. He did The Thirst all the way back in 2006. The stars Joey King as, wait for it, dramatic fucking pause for no fucking reason. Oh, I am so goddamn gonna blow you guys away with this. The Princess. In a movie called The Princess, wow, it's just weird. I've liked Joey King since seeing her in The Conjuring. I thought she was good in the brief scenes where she got to show her acting chops. She had been in other movies before that. And she was in Wish Upon, she was in Slender Man, which weren't movies that were necessarily all that good, but she shined because she has some good acting chops to her. And once I saw the brief trailer for this, I'm like, okay, why not? You know what? You got a princess that's trying to fight through a goddamn tower, whenever she gets caught, and then she breaks loose in Van Moose, and now you know the plot. It's the Princess Maniacs. I don't even have the energy to finish that goddamn song. The Animaniacs revamp, though, has certainly been interesting. But nevertheless, Joey King is the princess, and she is locked in a tower because she got caught, and she will break loose and rescue her family to stop Julius's plot, because Julius is upset that she refused his advances and refused to be married to him. Julius, by the way, played by Dominic Cooper, and also he has a right-hand woman, Olga Kurylenko. Remember when Olga Kurylenko burst onto the Hollywood scene and basically was, promoted for her beauty and her alluring looks and not necessarily her acting ability? Well, in 2022, it hasn't necessarily improved all that much, but she does have a star quality to her. And also, Alex Reed plays the Queen, Eric Stoppard plays the King, and then there's Veronica Ungo, who played Lynn. She was the Asian actress that was in The Old Guard. Remember The Old Guard? Nobody should remember The Old Guard because it was fucking shit. She looks great, but nevertheless, yeah, that's basically the plot of the goddamn movie. There are fights, Joey King kills and kills and kills and kills again, and keeps killing. And apparently these are the most inept guards that do not possess any ability to have object permanence or understand their surroundings. They are just generic cliches. Julius character, that is just a goddamn cliche. Dominic Cooper, everybody is just phoning in their goddamn roles. Well, I mean, I guess that's a little bit unfair because a movie like this shouldn't be taken all that seriously. The problem is this movie takes itself entirely too fucking seriously. It looks like shit. The fight scenes all blend together. It's like you just should be controlling them with a PlayStation controller. And there are Dark Soul bosses that just pop up for no goddamn reason in the form of some guards. You have to expect to see after somebody gets knocked down, you died. Yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to this goddamn plot. In fact, it is one of the worst films of the year. And that's despite the fact, again, I'm a fan of Joey King's work. And I like a couple of the other actors in this. But this is just a terrible rush production. There is one point where a guy is set on fire. And the fire effects don't even look like they could pass for a movie. They came out 30 fucking years ago. I understand the movie has a small budget. I understand all these things are happening, but fucking goddamn hell, like, at first, okay, she kills a few people. She kills 3 people within the first 7 minutes because she's captured and she refuses to take orders from any man. She's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man until she needs to rescue her dad. And then also have the character Lynn, Veronica Ungo, help her out. And we get a bunch of flashbacks. We get a lot of flashbacks. In fact, I think this movie is pretty much 20% flashbacks and 80,000% fight sequences. And the one thing I will say about Joey King is the British accent wasn't necessarily the worst I've heard, but it didn't necessarily set the world on fire, and then it went higher to the sun. Yeah, this movie was really goddamn atrocious. It just kept going with fight scenes and fight scenes. And look, The Raid was a movie that did constant fight scenes well. And Bruce Lee movies, at least like most of them, you can do a movie that's just constant fight scenes if you make them varied up. You vary them up and you try to tweak things around a little bit and have a little bit of fun. This movie just got to where everybody's just flipping, flippity-doo-dah shit and everything, parkour bullshit, and not even done all that well. It didn't even look like it was made this year. It didn't even look like it was made in the last 10 years. This movie looked like it probably would have, had it not been for the fact that Joey King is clearly grown up and in her early 20s, this movie almost looked like it could have passed for the early 2000s or even the 1980s, because that's just how fucking dated and bad it looked. And my God, this movie is shit. It's on Hulu, by the way, if you want to check it out. It really could impress you. It really can make you can find it entertaining. I laughed at a few moments. The problem is this movie was not intended to be a comedy. I laughed at some of the deaths. I laughed at some of the dialogue. Okay, a lot of the dialogue. And it was just really, really badly done. I'm going to get into spoilers now, but so just that's your fair warning. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. The sun is setting on the review as we speak right now, because Washington weather is weird. But yes, spoiler section. So, essentially, Joey King was trained by Lynn, Veronica Ngo's character, and her master. They're straight out of being extras on the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon set. Her mother didn't mind her training to fight, but her father didn't want her to fight. Like, no, I can't, I don't have a son to be an heir, so you must marry somebody because we can't have a woman run this goddamn thing. Even though you're clearly the most qualified person since you killed about 80 million goddamn guards. They can't do anything because they were born without a goddamn brainstem. Then you just do all this stuff. You just keep rising up and sword play and please help me. And you just keep killing people and violently killing people. And man, the princess has a lot of aggressive, nature in her head, and she just keeps killing and killing again. Olga Kurylenko uses a whip. There's some fantasy stuff right there. And also there's this, comedy, side story with a fat guard trying to look for her because fat people going upstairs and downstairs is funny, apparently. And they constantly evade all these people, and even when they end up getting captured, they are out of capture very, very quickly. There's also a younger sister that, oh no, she's going to get married to Julius, but no, that's just drawing them out, and then her and Julius have a fight. The princess and we never actually find out her name. Or if we do, I just don't fucking give a shit, so I'm just going to call her the princess. And Joey King ends up, after killing a whole bunch of people, she struggles to beat Olga Kurylenko and then hangs her, and then cuts off Dominic Cooper's head. That's really it. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about this. I'd make this into a paper plane, but MIA would not be very appreciative of that. And I bet you didn't think you'd get an MIA reference during this, and if you're not a hip-hop fan, you probably have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, she cuts off his head, and the king says, okay, women, do whatever the fuck you want. Daughter, you've proved your worth by killing basically an entire township's worth of people. You can run. You can run through fear and bloodshed and everything. It gets an F. It's fucking terrible. God damn, this movie's bad. One of the worst films of the year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.